Brought to you by Penguin.
The Summer Job by Lizzy Dent, read by Emma Sidi. Chapter 1. May. "You here for a wedding?" the driver asks, his cheery eyes focused on me and not on the tiny track we're careering up. No, I reply, as my fingers begin to ache from all the seat clenching they're having to do. He's got to be doing at least 70. "Aye, you're not dressed for a wedding," he agrees. I look down at my shirt, self-consciousness pushing away fear for a moment. I'd bought a white silk shirt for 60% off from TK Maxx, but several hours into my journey, I'd remembered that white silk shirts were only for rich people or anyone who liked doing laundry. The deal clincher for me when buying clothing is whether or not it'll come out of the dryer like it's been ironed. The car takes a sharp turn, and the single lane thins to a ribbon, before the woods clear completely, and we drive through a simple iron gate fixed to 2 old stone pillars. Vast lawns rise slowly upwards, and, along the approach, rows of towering trees stretch their branches across to meet in a tunnel of crooked wood and leaves. Everything is sepia in the fog. Ahead, the house comes into view, though in truth it looks more like a small castle. A grey and sandstone mothership, with pointed turrets flanking the sides, and an enormous staircase leading from the circular drive to the entrance. It's far grander than I'd imagined, but strangely bleak. I text Tim immediately. I'm in a fucking gothic novel. I'm pleased with my tone. Funny, irreverent, mysterious. I think about calling him to elaborate, but I'm not entirely sure he'd get the joke. Tim isn't exactly well-read. The car tires skid, jolting me back to the reality of the speeding vehicle. We are momentarily stuck as the tires spin hopelessly in the mud, and the driver revs the engine. He switches gears, and we thrust forward. Round the back there's a short road to the stables and cottages, and then a small car park, I say, double-checking the instructions on my phone. "Staff entrance?" he questions, with a single raised eyebrow. "Yep," I say, nodding, then stare wistfully out of the window. The back of the house is just as grand, but arguably more beautiful than the front. The ground drops away from a pebbled courtyard and rose garden down to a river, which I can hear but not see. The stables sit about 100 metres to the side of the house, and the car pulls to a halt between them and a trio of small stone cottages. I look back at the house, which is barely in view through a small grove of oaks. The largest of the 3 cottages has wood smoke rising in pleasing spirals from the squat chimney, and there's a small slate and silver sign on the wooden door that I can just make out. Staff only. "This is it," I say, getting out and handing the driver £200 in Scottish notes, trying not to wince as I say goodbye to all the money I had left in the world. "Thanks for the ride. Who knew you could get to the West Coast in under 1.5 hours from Inverness? It must be a world record." He looks inordinately proud. There are about a dozen cars in the car park, a white van, some 4-wheel drives, a few of those big, black, expensive-looking SUVs, and a couple of golf carts. But still no humans. A dog barks once, far in the distance, the sound echoing ominously around the estate. I feel my anxiety blossom into full nerves. This is it. The literal end of the road, and potentially the craziest thing I'd done since walking out on that stupid West End play, right before my first line. "Hope you enjoy Scotland, lass," the driver says, then takes off with a screech of tyres on gravel. I knock a few times on the wooden door. For late spring, it's far colder than I imagined, and my thin trench coat is proving a nonsense kind of cover-up for this weather. My phone beeps, and it's Tim. "What do you mean?" Confused emoji. I chuckle. He's so predictable. There is still no sign of anyone. Crossing my arms to try and brace myself from the icy breeze, I look around the courtyard for some sign of life. I can hear the horses scuffing at the hay-covered stone floor in the barn, and I can sense the smell of mossy earth.
Sample complete. Ready to continue?